Chris and Jeff back again. Baseball cards, they're only friends. Super short prints they collect. The rarest of cards, yeah, respect. Blabbing about slabbing. Every Thursday's a spot. Blabbing about slabbing. SSP cards that we've got. Tune in now, don't be late. Baseball cards, it's worth the wait. Chris and Jeff, they got the scoop. On the cards with the best clues. Chris follows the Braves through thick and thin. Jeff's with the Brewers, always in to win. Their love for the game shines on the screen. Collecting variations, they're a winning team. Blabbing about slabbing. Every Thursday's the spot. Blabbing about slabbing. SSP cards that we've got. From rookies to legends, they're on the prowl. Chris and Jeff have the power to jinx them Blabbing about slabbing.
I know it's a little confusing hearing Thursday night, and here it's I believe Monday when I check the calendar, Chris.
It is indeed Monday, but yeah, with Ohtani on the mound, with Devers on the move, and somehow, Jeff, our wives allotted us a little bit of time on a Monday night, and we're going to take advantage.
Yeah, it's we for any of you guys who caught it, we did a spitballing live today earlier in the day, and now we're doing a blabbing live. So hope we can hear Chris at a normal volume. I think we're all good, right?
I think so. I don't know. I mean, oh, wait a second. My mic wasn't on, Jeff.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Okay, everybody cover your ears.
Hold on to your butts. All right.
Well, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining a special Monday night edition of Blabbing About Slab. And we felt like we had to come on here and talk a little bit because two huge news items that dropped yesterday. Rafael Devers, who, as you guys know, is a player that Chris and I collect and like, is on the move. He is now in San Francisco. Seems crazy to me still. And then they announced Ohtani was going to pitch today. He threw a total of 1 inning, and that's it.
He got a little hosed. He definitely struck out Machado. That was a swing. That was a complete swing. But yeah, I mean, Tatis with a bloop single. Arias obviously squared him up. He's going to square everyone up. But he looked pretty good. I mean, he was pulling his fastball a lot of like down and into lefties.
Yeah, but a lot of his misses were just off the plate too, and he was throwing 99 just off the plate. So once he got into the 20s, I was pretty sure that they weren't going to let him come back out to pitch the next inning. So no rehab, first time facing real hitters in 2 years. Overall, I thought it was pretty good.
You know what made today an even better day? The battery sums it up nicely. Hey, the Braves didn't lose a game today.
Hey, I didn't think they played.
They didn't.
Bump. Great. I'm glad to see that. M. Newbert, yes, we'll get to this. I believe Chris may even have this quote pulled up because
There was actually there was a second quote, Jeff, that's even worse than the first. I have it. We can just jump. We can get into that one. I mean, and Newbert's here, Thick Boy's here. We're ready. We can talk Devers for a sec.
Yes.
This is absolutely the worst. This is like the thing I was hoping wouldn't come out regarding our boy Devers. This David Ortiz saying, "You cannot imagine how many times I wrote to Devers trying to give him advice. He almost never returned my messages." That is a bad look.
I'm surprised that he wrote to him. That seems kind of strange in this day and age.
I assume he means texts.
A letter through the postal service, perhaps.
Yeah. Well, I think about this from a Braves point of view. I feel like if Chipper Jones texted someone, by the third unreturned text, like he's in his car driving to Atlanta to confront the player about not getting back to him. I don't really know what to make of this. How driven was Poppy to get those words to him? Like, he never returned his messages. I don't know. I'm sure the truth is somewhere in between, but Poppy telling somebody else about their ego getting in the way and not playing the field. I believe he played 45 games in the field his last 8 seasons in professional baseball. So, and most of those were during back when they had interleague play with no DH. Yeah.
So
yeah, maybe not. I look, I don't know. At this point, it is what it is. We'll see how. Yeah, I think San Francisco is sent him a telegram. I don't know. I feel like San Francisco might be better for him than we're expecting. So he's going to go to a team that's in a better position to make the playoffs. It just stinks for the Red Sox. It just absolutely stinks if you're a Red Sox fan. You just lost the best hitter on your roster and replaced him with nobody.
Yeah, Thick Boy, I'm with you. It's very confusing. I just watched him hit a homer against the Yankees. Yeah, I think Chris pointed out today he hit a home run in his last official at bat as a Red Sox player. Official Yankee killer. I think Garrett Cole was celebrating the most when he heard about this trade.
Yeah, I mean the Yankees have to be absolutely thrilled that this guy's out. That one their like strongest, bitterest division rival just traded their best hitter and a guy that absolutely destroys them specifically. It's crazy. And the AL, by the way, I mean, we could talk about the lack of star power forever. We kind of touched on it on our Spitballing Live, but my goodness.
Yeah. Cat Dad makes a good point here. We've heard of a lot of players being clubhouse issues, and never has that really come up with Devers, even rumors of it. So it is a little bit, I mean, did he only become a clubhouse cancer when they kind of treated him like garbage? Didn't talk to him about making the Bregman signing. I don't know. I saw both sides of that at the time. This I really am. I have to say I'm on Team Devers. So I'm glad he's getting a new start. They needed to have a clean break. So yeah, I'm glad they did that. I think ATL Jeff Black says he'd have one more homer if he played this whole season at Oracle. Yeah, I had heard he'd have 26 home runs, but that's everybody says how bad of a park that is to hit in.
Yeah, I'm getting, there's conflicting numbers. ESPN on Sunday Night Baseball overlaid every extra base hit he had at Fenway this season and overlaid it with Oracle Park. Now, obviously, that does not factor in wind conditions. Looks like Ohtani's doubling to tie the game here. That doesn't factor in like wind or anything else, but they said 11 of his non-home runs at Fenway would have gone out at Oracle.
Yeah.
Again, there's wind coming off the water. That might
there's definitely going to be some concerns, but all the people that say Devers is not going to be a 30 home run guy in San Francisco, I'm not buying that.
No, I mean, now to be fair, no one's done that in over 20 years, Jeff. But still, he'll be the guy to do it. I'm not concerned. I think a guy with we can say it, he's got a pretty big ego, and now he's got a pretty big chip on his shoulder. I'm excited to see what he comes out with in this weekend series with Boston in San Francisco. What timing, by the way?
Great timing.
Man, that could be some serious theater.
Yeah, he's going to be facing different pitching, but they're going to be facing a hitter they haven't seen before too. So there's going to be adjustments both ways, offense and defense against him. Oh.
Absolutely. It'll be really interesting to see. It's just a guy you never thought would be wearing a different uniform, but
right. JD Cards, I don't know. I mean, the Red Sox are playing this as if they're a small market team, and they're not. They're one of the biggest markets in baseball. And as our friend poor Filmington, Red Sox fan, pointed out today on our Spitballing Live, that these aren't the kind of bats you can just go out and replace. Yes, it's a huge contract, but he's got 6-7 years of prime baseball left, and his game doesn't rely on speed or agility. He's a hitter, and he's hasn't showed any signs of slowing down as a hitter. These contracts are front loaded, so you get that production up front, usually expecting a couple bad years down the road. So it depends. Maybe they're better off, but Filmington's skeptical that they're even going to use that money or use it in a good way.
Yeah, he's extremely skeptical because the football team that John Henry owns just paid like a $50 million or 50 million euro or pound transfer fee. So if I think Red Sox fans should be afraid or concerned. Devers' contract is now going right to a football club.
A fortune.
But yeah, like Jeff said, Devers is 28 years old. This isn't a guy in his like mid 30s with 8 years left in his deal. He's still comfortably in his prime.
He's young,
I don't think they're better off without that contract at all.
No, I don't either. And yes, he's probably going to get a lot of doubles. That's true. But even historically in his career, he's hit more home runs on the road. He's still going to get 81 road games. He's going to get to play at Coors a few times. He's going to get to play at Bank One Ballpark. Going to get to play at Cincinnati a few times a year. So I don't see a huge drop in his numbers.
I don't either. I see extra motivation as well. Hold on one second. Air Jordan asks if his All-Star votes transfer. They do, but obviously he's never going to start an All-Star game as a National League DH. He should probably know that. Yeah. And ATL Jeff Black, I did see what they wanted. They didn't really release the name. So the Red Sox and Braves, I guess, spoke. And the Red Sox, some deal. It was Marcell Ozuna, Sean Murphy, and 2 undisclosed minor league pitchers is as far as they got. I guess the Braves didn't seem extra motivated. Goddamn, Jeff. I don't know who those 2 minor league pitchers were, but I'll sign on that dotted line right
like
now.
That in that lineup. Yeah.
I'll take it. They can have any 2 minor league pitchers they want. I'll take Devers. I'll take that contract, and I will sell everyone insurance and who sits in front of the chop house. But anyway.
You're right, Carlisle. We don't know what happened. I guess in retrospect, you could say it started to seem inevitable, but I put a lot of fault on the Red Sox for not being able to smooth this over, and especially after what happened with Mookie Betts and Xander Bogaerts, other beloved players. It really looks bad for them. It really looks bad for the Red Sox, and they're supposed to be the adult in the room.
It's weird. It's very strange. Jeff, there's a funny comment here. His walk rate has definitely increased. Meeks International here wants to know if the Brewers could have gotten involved.
They probably would have had to offer at least a key to the city, maybe part of the 3rd Ward, maybe the Summerfest grounds to get him there, but they just they could never afford that contract, sadly.
Some kind of all you
see him hit Miller Park, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Cat Dad says the funniest part is that he's almost certainly going to play first base. I wouldn't be shocked at all.
No,
I feel like with Buster Posey there, the San Francisco just seems to have a better system in place for dealing with their players. The Red Sox front office, we don't even know at this point what's going on there. So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah,
they have no first baseman over there.
They've got Chapman at thirds. He's a great defender.
Yes.
So first
and they just extended him. Yeah, he's not playing third, but they don't really have a first baseman.
No, they don't, and they haven't had a solid first baseman there for a while. As Scott, I have to give Scotty B credit. He did call out Posey and said this is a huge notch on his belt, making this move and chart as he's trying to get some relevance back to San Francisco. They've tried to lure a lot of big name players and have been really close on some of them. They finally made their big splash this offseason by luring Adames away from Milwaukee. Big contract, not big results.
Right.
So yes, this will cover that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the big left-handed bat that they have desperately needed since, was it 2007? Bonds' last year?
Yeah, 2007. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, think more. You're going to get 2 of those 3 for the rest of the summer. Oh, bad baseball. Okay, yeah, 3 out of 3. I didn't see the word
3 out of
bad.
3. Yeah. The Brewers' lifetime supply of brats, lakefront brews. They might have had to give him the whole brewery, John. I think the Brewers may go after Suarez. Are we talking about Eugenio Suarez? That bat probably would play pretty well in AmFam.
When he makes contact, for sure.
Hey, Cartaholic, Chris and I both love the young guys the Red Sox have.
Yeah.
We've loved the way that they've built up their farm system, and they were kind of grooming them all to come at the same time. But we just thought Devers would be the centerpiece of that lineup. He'd be the veteran holding them all together.
Yeah, he's the aircraft carrier that those guys can sort of like grow around.
Yeah.
But honestly, I have to also admit, despite liking him and being a fan of his, I was really bummed that he didn't just grab a first baseman's mitt and jog out to first base as soon as Casas got hurt. Like, I mean, the team player in me, like Jeff and I played team sports our whole life. Like, your guy goes down. Like, if you can replace him, if you can make the team better by filling in that spot, you do it.
I know. And we had that conversation. I was of the mind that he didn't have anything to lose.
Nothing.
There's a bronze statue of Arthur Fonzarelli of Happy Days fame in Milwaukee. Would have had to trade for him. I thought he didn't have anything to lose. He'd show that he was a great team player by going out there. Even if he played poorly, it wouldn't matter much because they wouldn't be expecting a lot, or so I thought. I mean, you made the point that he's still a person. He's still a player. He still has pride. He doesn't want to look bad. So I'm sure there was something of that. But it's sad that it didn't work out.
Yeah, maybe he just watched Moneyball for the first time and saw, the Ron Washington character say it's extremely hard to play first base, and he got scared. I mean, I don't know. And unfortunately, we're never going to know. So it is.
I get this, M. Newbert. I admire anyone who's willing to pitch in slow pitch because you're really close to the plate and you're you're seeing a lot of fast balls come back at you. But man, the major leagues against a big lefty, I wouldn't want to stand there at first base.
No, but M. Newbert, I didn't know you're a pitcher. That's cool. I do. I also pitch, been pitching for a while. And sometimes the other team's trying to hit you. And you just have to kind of maneuver, matrix yourself as best you can.
Get ready to move, yeah.
The key question in this whole thing for us, Jeff, was asked by Abel in Vegas a couple minutes ago. So let me put it up.
All right.
So what do you guys think in the comments? If you're holding nice Devers cards, or if you're not, are you actively, does this make you more interested in him? Or are you trying? A lot of Red Sox people I saw on Facebook yesterday were definitely dumping or claiming to be dumping, but they were just trying to sell it a very high price.
Market prices.
Yeah.
This is an excellent question. I think a lot depends on what if you collect Devers, why you collect them. Are you a fan of the Red Sox first, and then you just began collecting Devers, or are you kind of like Chris and I, who have admired Devers from afar? In that case, I feel like you're still a believer in him. You're still going to hold. So that's where I would be with that. But you might be able to get some good buys for the people that are hardcore Red Sox fan, that it's Red Sox or bust, that are cutting loose on some of the nice Devers they have.
Yeah, I thought for sure we would see some high-end stuff hit in the next couple of days, just some Red Sox people just wanting out. I know when Freeman and the Braves had their unfortunate breakup, a lot of high-end Freeman stuff became available because Braves guys didn't want it anymore. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what pops up on eBay in the next few days. I see Shelly the Turtle is, suggesting orange refractors could be. There is one sitting on eBay right now, actually, 2015 for a definitely not a fire sale price. When I look,
JD Card says, I think it depends on whether he makes the Giants a series contender in the West. I think Posey's really trying to do something there, and if he's successful, it would be huge. We all know the rabid fan base the Giants have, and rabid collector base. Even from those championship teams, now they're over a decade old. So it's they're still highly, highly collected. So
if you've got Jeff, if you got a rare Posey, a rare Lincecum, or a rare Bumgarner, there's definitely a market for it. So and by the way, I think the Giants are contenders now. Before he got there, they're like a game or two. I think they're in second place.
I mean, and that West seems more up for grabs than we thought it would be coming into the season.
I think there's more good teams in the NL West than there are in the American League, but that's a separate video. We could talk about that some other time.
That's true. This is foil boards. We love foil boards.
That's a beautiful card. Adalis. Beautiful, beautiful card. Yeah. Jeff and I have, I would say, between the two of us, around 10 Devers cards that we really like. And I have no plans to sell right away. I want to see how this goes.
Yeah. Me too.
He was so cheap 3 years ago that. It's not a
Yeah,
big deal.
Chris and I have been on the bandwagon with him. He doesn't put up huge WAR numbers because he doesn't play a lot of defense, but he accumulates a lot of stats. And if he gets his 400th home run as a member of the Giants, maybe a 500th home run, still a possibility he could make a run at 2,500, 3,000 hits. So that would be fun to see him get some of those big round numbers.
Yeah, we know the Giants fans absolutely love their players. We talked about the 10, 12, and 14 teams, but I mean, they worshipped Barry Bonds. Yeah. Not one of those fans cared at all what his hat size was.
No. Cat Dad, I feel like he's well in the Hall of Fame discussion based on what I was talking about. He's got, I believe, 215-ish home runs already, and he's only 28 years old.
Yep. Basically
entering a hitter's prime. I feel like
he's got 1,130 hits.
Yeah, that's a lot of hits for a 28-year-old.
For comparison, I feel like I just saw Judge got his 1,000th hit.
Yeah.
And Judge is 33. He's 5 years old.
By the time Judge was this age, he probably had about 60 home runs. So, yeah.
He played one season.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, Devers is an award darling. He isn't, he's not going to put up, we don't think he's going to put up a 60 home run season, but if he just keeps it going, he's well on pace for 3,500, and there's not a lot of people in that club.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, a couple people here. Rob says he's keeping. All right, so what do we think? How does Shohei look to you guys? Who's excited? My wife actually went on StubHub today and saw that people were asking ungodly numbers for
I bet
for tickets today.
I mean, everybody was talking about it. I just came from not big. Yeah, I mean, he's a hitter, and I think he's going to be fine. I just came from baseball practice with 12 8-year-olds, and that's all they were talking about was that Ohtani was going to pitch tonight, and they couldn't wait to go home and watch it. So out here, it was definitely all over the news. Sure, some people might be disappointed that it was only one inning, but he didn't get hurt.
Yep.
He looked good. He was throwing hard, missed the spots a little bit, but I'm excited.
Yep. ATL Jeff Black is right. Ozzy Albies also just got his 1,000th hit. So why don't we just begin sizing that Hall of Fame plaque up as well? So my wife has a place to throw her trash because she hates him so much. Hold on. Who wrote? Where is that? Thank you, Sports Guy Corey. God, did I say that? I know I have joked that Trout may not get to 400 home runs because he gets hurt so much, Jeff. I think he's like 11 away, so I'm sure he will get there. A little hyperbole never hurt anybody.
Yeah. A little.
He'll probably get there before Devers. 500.
I'm here with you too. I was surprised with how hard he was throwing.
Yeah,
but that's nice.
I think he peaked at 98, right?
I thought I saw 99 on the broadcast, but that could just be the bump, Dodger Stadium bump. John, Series 2 Churio Golden Mirror. Yes. Great image. Definitely. It's a mixed bag with the Series 2 SSPs. Some great ones and some not so great. Yeah. But love that Churio one.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if there's been any crazy Ohtani sales since this game started. I'm not seeing anything, anything too crazy.
The cards are going to jump big time. I mean, I would never say never because what we've seen with him, it's just, you don't know.
Doubt him at your own peril. I can see that a base Bowman Chrome PSA 10 sold for $1,300 this afternoon in anticipation of this start. That seems like a lot of money, Jeff.
That's a lot of money. Yeah. It'll be fun to see the next 24 hours. Cat Dad, I like this comp. I mean, Sheffield was one of the most feared hitters in the league and just might happen to know. Look what I'm wearing, Chris. Can you tell?
Uh-oh, hold on. Coming. Oh, look at that. Man.
Little autographed Sheffield jersey, Brewer legend. But the reason he's not in the Hall of Fame is steroids. That's it.
Ooh, all right. Some talk about maybe he hit 100. Man, I've heard some good. I watched a decent number of Dodger broadcasts here in Los Angeles, and usually I turn the Braves off in disgust and look for something else to watch. And a bunch of the players have said that like pitching Ohtani is a different animal than batting Ohtani. That like all the kind, like when he's batting, he's saying hello, very respectful to the umpire, but on the mound, like they're like, he wants to kill everybody. So I'm excited to see that version of Ohtani back as well.
Yeah, a lot of people were asking, why are they doing this? Why are they letting him pitch? But that was part of the deal. He wants to be out there. He wants to pitch. And for a guy like that, it's been 2 years since he's had that feeling on the mound. And he definitely was feeling it a little bit in that first inning. Not exactly the results he wanted, but I like it.
Yeah, and I think we can also maybe assume that Dylan Cease came into this game with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, all the attention the other guy was getting, and he's like, hey, wait a minute, I'm really good at this too.
Yes.
Yeah. PSA 10 rookie. Hey, yeah, you can find any PSA 10 Ohtani rookie in that price range. I think that's great.
Interestingly, who was it, or what card was it, Sports Guy Corey? I'm interested to know.
Yeah, Jeff's gonna start scanning.
Yeah, there you go. Fine. Was
scanning
it
eBay. Like a pretty good buy.
Yes, this is what I saw too. JD cards. He was very animated in this inning. Both Machado call and Tatis at the plate. He wanted that call, and that was really a close play, closer than I thought it would be. That was a great throw. Yeah,
that was a hell of a throw. Great slide, and I was really impressed how Tatis stood up. They're like Indian style sitting, and then he just like popped up. Try that, and maybe actually at our age, Jeff, we shouldn't try that. But
no,
I'm sure my kneecap could stay on.
Pulled hammy.
Yeah, battery. That was. I mean, I feel like every week I say this has to be rock bottom, and then something absolutely worse. Everyone gets a medical degree, yeah, and then something even worse happens for the Braves. Like, yeah, I mean. At this point, I just watch Acuna's at bats and then usually just move on.
Yeah, W. Mike, that was a big part of why he chose the Angels, because they saw him as a two-way player, and that's why he chose the Dodgers, or one reason besides the ridiculous contract as well.
Yeah. Meeks International. Yeah, this is kind of a funny stat there. Yeah.
I mean there's a lot in that one stat. It shows how relatively low Devers' WAR is compared to his overall counting numbers. Yep. And it also shows how ridiculous Ohtani's been.
Yeah. This is Joseph here with a pretty good find. He picked up Ohtani's rainbow foil rookie debut, which is like his rookie hitting image out of flagship.
That's a better image. Yeah, that's a better image. Nice job, Joseph.
Yeah. Jeff and I occasionally do fantasize about what would US 1 look like, the update card, if they'd use the rookie debut image, the hitting image.
Yeah, the prices would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be an absolutely enormous card. Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. I've got a parallel out of flagship with a hitting image. This
is a question for the CPAs in the group. I'm not sure how that's going to work, Abel, and I don't know how it works based on where you were when you signed the contract, how that transfer goes, how many days a year he puts in work in California versus other states. But suffice it to say, he won't be struggling.
No, he'll be okay. He'll be able to feed his family. I'm trying to. There's got to be maybe there's a CPA possibly in my own living room that can answer this question. I think Massachusetts has a pretty aggressive state tax as well, so maybe there isn't a huge difference. It's also possible that I am just pulling that from nowhere, but I mean,
David O, I think this is wishful thinking. Yeah, I don't know. We talked a little bit about PCA on Spitball and Live today. He's having an outstanding season so far. If he keeps this up, he could be right in that conversation. It's hard to believe with his underlying metrics that he'll be able to keep this up. But, man, the narrative there for Ohtani is just kind of average as a pitcher. I guess it depends what average is.
Yeah.
But if he does pitch and stay healthy successfully and still hits like he's capable of, it's going to be tough to pry that MVP away.
A league average pitcher has value. I mean, especially for a team that has 70% of their rotation on the IL right now. Someone who can just go 5 or 6 innings and give up 3 runs is probably that's a huge boost for that team. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, M. Newbert. What was I going to say? There was Cardaholic. You really feel this way? Cardaholic, a frequent blabbing chatter.
His best years as a pitcher with the Angels. Well, that may be because we haven't seen anything with the Dodgers yet, but Dodgers should just leave Ohtani as a hitter. I I think a grumpy Ohtani is not the best Ohtani, and he wants to pitch. So by all means, I feel like the Dodgers should let him. He's proven that he can hit even if he's not pitching. So if something happens that he gets hurt, I think the Dodgers would have a little more leverage in saying, all right, now it's happened again. Let's take a step back and let's just keep you on the field. But until then, I feel like they've got to do everything they can to get him out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, especially given what's happened to their rotation, I think this is absolutely worth the risk for them. And like Jeff said, if what Ohtani wants, Ohtani's going to get. And I think he should have a pretty good feel for how his elbow at this point, he's had 2 surgeries, 1 Tommy John, 1 brace. So, I mean, if it starts to feel wrong, I think he'll say something, but we'll have to wait and see. He did look a little bit tired at the plate there in the top of the first, Jeff.
Well, that's got to be tough. Leading off the inning right after throwing 28 pitches, and then he's got to go right back and get his helmet and get out there to lead off.
Yeah. I mean, Altuve didn't even want to play left field and lead off.
Right. That was too far for his legs to carry him.
Right.
W. Mike with a question. Should I hold, sell, or trade an Ohtani RPA BGS 9.5 out of 20 from National Treasures? I've been holding for a while. Chris and I don't really have our pulse on a lot of the unlicensed stuff, although we know any Ohtani seems to be a good Ohtani. So might be a good time to buy and maybe flip it into a more mainstream Ohtani.
I honestly don't know. I hate like giving the buy, sell, or hold advice. I would say if you can make money on it, depending on when you bought it, if you can make a nice profit, like Jeff just said, sell it and then buy a nice licensed card. That certainly, it sounds like a decent plan. I don't hate that at all. But yeah, especially if it sells for significantly more than you paid, that always feels good.
Yeah,
because we all have a bunch of Tatis cards
taking a profit for sure.
Yeah.
ATL Jeff Black, if he keeps dominating, do you think there's any chance of fan fatigue on Ohtani? I mean, it happens to dynasty teams and people like Tom Brady. Absolutely. Absolutely, there's a chance. In baseball, I don't know. You don't see it quite as much as in the other sports, maybe because so many other people are involved in a baseball team. But sure. But what's that going to take? The Dodgers to win the next 4 titles and have him collect MVP awards. Then finally the narrative gets old. He has such a wide fan base of some people that will not ever get fatigued on him. I think that'll average it out. So I don't see his hobby value dropping anytime soon with fatigue.
Yeah. I think, pretty much exactly what I was going to say. I think that there may be there's always haters. I mean, a lot of people hated those Yankee teams from the 90s, like this guy here. But the entire country of Japan is always going to love, collect, and root for Shohei Ohtani. I mean, he could win 7 straight MVPs, and I think there will still be people aggressively pursuing every single card of his as it comes out.
Yeah, JD Cards makes a good point here. I actually think fatigue would come from him not pitching. People like David Ortiz, who we previously discussed, was salty that he won MVP as a DH. So this is showing he is that more well-rounded baseball player, maybe more well-rounded than any baseball player we've seen in recent years. I think that would give him a little bit of a longer leash before the fatigue sets in. Yeah.
I like seeing this. I saw this as well that David Roberts said he's getting antsy. So, I mean, I don't think they had a pitching plan for today, so I don't see why not throw him in there.
Right.
Joseph, do we think they'll take him out of the leadoff spot? No, I don't think so.
They seem pretty committed to him in the leadoff spot.
It seems to be working.
Yeah.
It's possible when he starts, maybe they would bump him down to give him, but he'd have to suggest it, I think, for them to even consider it. But I could see there being a logic to that. Like on days he starts, maybe they hit him 5th. So that first inning, he can let he's kind of settle in.
Yeah. I like you said, though, I think it would have to come from him.
All right. Well, he just got another hit, another RBI.
He did. Jeez.
Yes. Pretty much, Jeff. All right. If you've watched our channel before, you understand that I am wrong about everything that I say. It was about 10 minutes ago. I said Dylan Cease was pitching this game with a chip on his shoulder. Like, he's a good pitcher too. I think he's gotten 1 out since I said that.
I'm not in front of the game, but I see from my computer that it's 5-2. Is that correct?
It's 5-2. Yeah. Ohtani just knocked in Pajes, I think. I'm not sure. Yeah. So, I mean, generally, if you want advice about what to do, what cards to buy, players to invest in, fantasy trades, listen to someone I believe in, and immediately get rid of that player. Like as fast as you can. John, I don't know. That's one thing I don't think we'll ever. I shouldn't actually. Yeah, I'll say it. I don't think we'll ever see him in the field. Besides as a pitcher, Jeff.
Yeah, I don't know. There was some talk last year. Remember when they were saying, well, he's not going to pitch, but he might get some starts in left field. And that never came to fruition. I just feel like that investment in him is a little much that they'll push back on some things like that.
Jeff, can you imagine he dives for a ball in the outfield and gets hurt like that? I think if I'm
into the
running,
wall, trying to steal a home run.
If I'm running the Dodgers and that happens, I walk down from the front office into the dugout and fire Dave Roberts in the middle of the game. Like while they're stretching Ohtani off the field.
Unless it was your mandate, then you walk down the stairs and head to your car and drive home because you're fired.
I just leave. I'll leave my key card at the desk and just walk out because I know I'm probably going to get murdered.
So a few people are thinking he should be in the bullpen now. There is some logic to that, although with he wants to start, first of all. And second of all, that would be really difficult to be in the bullpen and still be a member of the starting lineup. Because then would he go out there? This is like in Little League when we got to take a kid from the dugout and run down to the outfield and get him warmed up before he comes in. So I don't really see that happening, at least not this year.
No, I mean, I think like in the WBC, it kind of worked out perfectly that he batted, I want to say like in the 7th. Like he was like maybe the last out of that inning. So they kind of had a little bit of a buffer when they sent him down to the bullpen. And
I think, and we may see that in the playoffs again. I'm not saying we won't see that at all, but to set that up as being the default, I don't see.
See, that battery's getting it. I think they're 100% done. So if you want to walk into Vegas and put $100 on it, not a bad move.
Yes, Joseph Bareilles. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Please hit that like button and please hit subscribe if you haven't. We usually do a live show on Thursdays, but with this news out, we felt like we had to come on here today and talk. So thanks, everybody, for joining us.
I enjoy the scenario that Jeff Black sort of concocted here, but it's just hard to manage that. I think it's so much easier to say he'll pitch the first 3 innings and then we'll piggyback in with someone. I think that's probably the move that makes the most sense. So you can plan ahead, you can really plan it and have it on lockdown. So you know exactly, he knows when he's going to pitch and he knows when he's going to hit, but waiting like that
Corey says it. Yeah. I see this as a much more reasonable path for him. If they feel like he's going to only be pitching 3 or 4 innings, have him open. You've got a really good lineup. Even if he's dominant, that's great. He dominates for 3 or 4 innings. You have a good lineup. Hopefully you have a lead, and then you can pass it to one of your other 8 starters. Yeah,
Ben Kasparius, despite his absolutely horrific Series 2 Golden Mirror SSP rookie card, the poor guy, has pitched really well. And it would make sense. Ohtani for 3, Kasparius for like the next 4, and then you got your back end of the bullpen after that.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's right. They should. Maybe there's a cage back there.
I'm sure
to warm up.
I'm sure there's plenty of spots for him to warm up under there.
But this is really fun to talk about, and it's the type of stuff that we haven't been able to talk about ever.
Yes, yeah,
which is why he's really special.
So exciting as a baseball fan, yeah, just to see him back out there.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Cat Dad 26 says, as a Mets fan, the Braves still scare me, especially the trio of aces you have going against us. Big series.
All right, who's the trio of aces? What do you got? Strider, Schwellenbach, and what?
Sale.
Yeah, all the S's.
Yep, those 3 guys are great, and they're great for the 6 or 7 innings we might get out of them. And then after that, it's basically Jeff and I coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah, and it's like those poor guys. They know if they give up 2 runs, they're done. If they give up 1, maybe they have a chance. But
maybe they get a no decision, Jeff.
Yeah, they won't get tagged with a loss, but any more than 1, and yeah, that loss is likely. That's got to be frustrating after a while.
I think I said a lot last year that like someone was gonna like all these Braves hitters that were struggling, and their Baseball Savant page says they're hitting the ball hard and good things are gonna happen. Someone's gonna pay, and no one paid the entire season. So I don't know. Shelly the Turtle and I spent quite a bit of time on Austin Riley's Baseball Savant page last night. And if that's not a very cool statement, I don't know what is. But yeah, his launch angle's down.
All the ladies,
right? Yeah, I mean, his launch angle's down. He's just not quite hitting the ball with the same authority he was last year. And he's, of course, striking out a little bit more, especially with runners on base. So, I mean, I don't know. I've accepted it. I've accepted what this year is. What I think the Braves have to do is decide if they're in it for 2026 or if they want to be in it for 2028. Pick one of those 2 years and go hard at it. We don't know what's going to happen in 2027. It's this. I don't want to think about it. It makes my hair fall out.
Yes.
If they think these guys can rebound a little bit, get it together, yeah, and win next year, then approach it that way. But if they don't think that's possible with this group, then trade Chris Sale tomorrow and get the absolute max value that we can out of him from a contender that desperately needs
Man,
him.
I feel like you could get a king's ransom from him for him from a contender.
I would think so. By far, he'd be the best pitcher available. Yeah. Yeah, David O, that's what I'm saying. Like, but if they think they can win next year, then you had to hold on to Chris Sale because you've got a team option on him.
Yeah.
You don't want to trade him, but
yeah.
I mean, it's a tough decision. It's a decision I'd hate to make, Jeff. I don't want to be the guy that has to make that call. I want to be the guy that complains about the person that made the call
right
after the fact.
If it works, you want to be the guy to congratulate. If it doesn't, you want to complain. ATL Jeff Black throws up a stat here. Batting over 300 with runners in scoring position. I can't imagine that happens a lot, though. Is he 3 for 10 on the year?
I just can't. I can't reconcile that number, Jeff, because I see it. Now I sound like a Yankee fan who's like, no, Jeter's defense is great, but like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe those are all infield hits. I just don't know. I know when there's a runner at third and there's one out, Austin Riley, he's the fastest strikeout in the history of modern baseball I've ever seen in my life. He cannot hit a sac fly if his life depended on it, which is probably too much pressure for anyone to hit a sac fly.
Yeah, that's tough.
But yeah, I don't know. I still love the guy. You know, I love all these guys. It's painful to watch when they're struggling like this.
John's out here to refute you. Runners in scoring position. He's batting 333 with an 825 OPS. Just men on base. His OPS is up to 905. So I don't know what games you're watching.
I don't know. I guess I'm just at the situation now, Jeff, where I have no choice but to just argue the numbers that are right in front of me. Just absolutely refuse to accept them. I have no other. I have
like an appropriate response given our nation's current climate. Argue against the numbers staring you in the face.
Forget those facts. No, I have alternate facts, Jeff.
Yes. You create your own truth.
All right. Well, I'm glad to see that maybe I'm just over remembering the bad times. And to quote Roger Clemens, maybe I'm misremembering the situation.
Yes, I'm misremembering here. Yeah.
So I apologize to Austin Riley. Maybe I am selling him short. Maybe I just get too angry when it's Acuna that he leaves on base. Maybe that's the number I want. John, if you can give me that stat. What's Riley's batting average when Acuna's on base?
This is 0 for 30.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway. Ooh, Abel in Vegas. This would be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, our initial list is obviously already needs to be edited.
Yes. Can you imagine?
Yeah. One thing I mentioned this on a spitball, but you guys, I think we'll get this. Tell me what you think. Maybe it is. Hey, John says maybe it's all stat padding, like in blowout. It's possible. And I know hitting a baseball is really hard, and I shouldn't be mean to him. Austin Riley, that is. But what do we think? Rafael Devers update Golden Mirror SSP will look like. He's got to have something with the Giants. I would think they have time to get him in there. But I'm just really curious what that image is going to be.
It would be great with him playing first base.
I mean, on the field, right?
Yeah.
Like, what if they just photoshopped like they did in Series 2 with those awful photoshops? If they took a shot of him playing third with the Red Sox and photoshopped the San Francisco on it, that would be amazing. A troll job, an epic troll job from Topps.
Yes, but more likely probably this. Although I don't know how much time he's going to have for an actual press conference, so maybe we'll be saved from that.
Yeah, Shelly, that's exactly what I'm thinking. It's going to be a press conference. And I will say, as someone who collects Devers baseball cards, I have to get this back. Yeah, press conference shot. I am.
Yes, it keeps going.
I'm a little bit bummed. We're never going to get Devers with the Wally the Green Monster head home run celebration card because I wanted one of those. That's such a cool thing. Yeah. We should get one for Meyer and Anthony and Campbell.
And Anthony now, yep.
Unfortunately, we're not going to get one for Devers, and that's too bad.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of possibilities for this.
Yeah,
Shelly's drinking body armor or something.
Yeah, it's going to be or something terrible. Just him like on an airplane headed west.
Michael, this is if they don't have time to add any new rookies to update, how are they going to get Devers in? That's more of them not wanting to. What they really don't want to add is rookies to update because that means there's only a very small, finite number of sets that they can market those rookies in. So once we get past a certain date around Memorial Day-ish, they don't want to add any more rookies because they want to be able to save them for the 2026 products to sell their other products. So they can still get guys an update that move.
Yeah. We're going to get Caglione, and Roman Anthony on the cover of every product next year. They'll be able to sell it for 12 months. Whereas, like Jeff's saying, if they put them in update now, they only get like 6 months of sales. They probably I don't know. They might not get into Bowman Chrome. Probably not. I doubt they would get into Stadium Club at this point. But also imagine, Jeff. Oh, here's some really funny stuff. What if Roman Anthony or Marcelo Meyer? I'll get that. What if one of them gets crazy hot, or even Caglione, and they win Rookie of the Year, but they don't have a Bowman red logo card?
Yeah,
that'd be kind of funny.
Well, they would have one next year after they won Rookie of the Year previously. Does that count? Like,
what if they just didn't give it to him?
In retrospect, they didn't even give a red one.
They were like, well, we know this guy won it, so we're not going to give they'd have to print the card, but they'd have to print the card.
Have to.
I wonder, would they bother printing? Well, it doesn't really matter. And I saw this question from Battery. Yes, Drake Baldwin is going to be an update. Yeah, he'll definitely be an update, and definitely in Topps Chrome update. I don't know about regular Topps Chrome. And yes, Cat Dad Skeens was in update last year.
Shelly the Turtle says, isn't it crazy to think that Caglione's Dynasty RPAs won't release until 2026? Yes, that is absolutely crazy. We're still waiting for the Jackson Churio Dynasties, etc. So,
I think there was a tentative date, wasn't there? Like June 25th, June 26th. I saw that floating around. Okay, hold on. Yeah, Lucky Peter, this would be great. It took a long time to get a good. We got a Mookie Betts. Oh, excuse me, in Boston, kind of tipping his hat to the crowd. That was a cool card. Yeah, I would love to see that. I wonder how the crowd will respond to him next year. Yeah, definitely a different situation than Mookie.
Depends if they hold him responsible for it.
But yeah, I saw someone saying like, "What? Sorry."
M. Newbert says 2025 rookie class dynasty probably won't be until 2026 either.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was a little almost hopeful thinking. Okay,
June 25th. Shelley says, "Thank you."
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah,
next week. Yes.
All right. Yeah, because we're still hoping that mysterious Acuna card. If you guys saw our interview with Mike Mahan earlier this year, he said there was an Acuna holding up second base auto in Transcendent, but it wasn't in Transcendent. And I can tell you, Shelly and I have scoured eBay on a near daily basis. Haven't seen it yet, so it's got to be in Dynasty.
Yeah, gotta be. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be around Chris when he gets the checklist and find out.
It'll be worse if it's in there and then I have to bid on it on eBay, and I have to ride a bike to your house instead of driving my car.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Well, I hate to cut it too short, but I have to go and get my kids ready for camp tomorrow.
Night camp? Tomorrow.
No, but yeah, they've got the camp stuff they do, Chris. It's pretty crazy now. Like,
yeah,
just the fun stuff that they have. Adventure camps. I didn't pick up any. I've got no Miz, but I'm a big fan and watching them from afar. When I was
Jeff's kids are like 8 years old. When I was that age, my summer camp was called Not at Home. Like I was just dropped somewhere, like a playground or like a field where other kids were, and like
in the neighborhood. Yeah,
see you in a few hours. Like, don't come back.
Swimming and gymnastics. Oh, and so my daughter went to a new camp today. Chris, you'll appreciate this. She told me, she's like, "Oh yeah, our blocks today where we swimming, then we had gymnastics, then we had outdoor rec time, and then we had laser tag." I'm like, what kind of camp is this? I said, can I go?
Seriously, like, I would sign up for all of those activities.
Yes. Gymnastics might be a little rough for me, but
I'm just picturing if Vince Vaughn can do those rings and old school, surely, Jeff, you and I can cripple ourselves very, very easily.
That's true.
I want to answer one more question before we call it tonight. Abel in Vegas says, I don't think there are any, would be my, unless he has something scheduled for Stadium Club. That would be the only other set that maybe he would find his way into, because his Gold Mirror came out. It was in Series 1. So yeah, I would say maybe Stadium Club, but I don't know. They might pull it now. I don't think they care.
I don't think they. Yeah. Any idea on Stadium Club? Date wise?
No, I mean, we just got 2024,
Right.
what, in February? So I'm not.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah, this sounds about right. Yeah, could play outside. Yeah, it's a little bit of a different time, so I don't quite feel good about just sending my kids outside in the street to play, especially out here, like not where I grew up, where we had a lot of land and a lot of fields and a lot of places to play. So I'm glad they're somewhere safe, but the stuff they get to do is pretty cool.
Yeah, I will. What the battery is saying here is, I recently watched the movie The Sandlot with my dad. And if you have a dad who's about 80 or up, I would say maybe 75 or up, try to watch that movie with them and see how they react. My dad said it felt very, very much like his childhood. And he was like laughing, like near to tears. He was like cringing, like he was afraid of the dog. Like he got really, really into that movie. And it felt very nostalgic. I guess there was a cul-de-sac very similar to what is in that movie, like a block away from him. He said it felt very, very much like New Jersey in the 50s. So
That's
if you have a
great
dad
to
in that age
watch
range,
that with my dad, I don't think he's seen it, and he talks all about growing up in the 60s playing baseball just all the time. So yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Good tip.
Okay. I didn't know. Diaz says if his dad heard him complaining about something, he would just drop him off in Compton and say, figure it out. Here's a bus pass. Good luck to you. Yeah. I mean, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Appreciate you guys joining us to vent a little and discuss about these big baseball things, saving us from having to chew our wives' ears off about Ohtani starting for the first time in 2 years and Devers being traded across the continent.
Jeff, when you go back downstairs or you rejoin your family, is there an empty wine bottle in your kitchen like there always is in mine after blabbing?
Yeah, but I'm not supposed to say that because the kids are only 9.
I gotcha. Fair enough. Hey, whatever helps them sleep.
No, I got to go read some Harry Potter. But
Nice.
Thanks everybody for joining us. We'll be back for your regularly scheduled blabbing Thursday, I believe. I don't even know. I'm living day to day at this point, Chris. Are we back Thursday? Are you in town? What's going on?
Yes, we're back on Thursday. Who knows? Who knows what amazing news will have happened between now and then?
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. If you guys have any questions, definitely hit us up on Instagram, My Favorite Cardboard and Baseball Card Addict, or hit us up on our show IG. But thank you everybody for joining us. Let me find
Sports Guy Corey, A Bronx Tale is a great movie, and your dad's childhood must have been awesome.
Thanks, guys. Book and chat. Book 5.